So, page 41, we're talking about reproducing. Not just healthy believers, not just healthy disciples, hallelujah, but reproductive believers. The very first commandment, as we already mentioned, be fruitful and multiply. There is a certain satisfaction that comes when we see some years later the fruit of our activities and pouring ourselves into people's lives. And yet our church culture is not designed to identify anyone who's following anyone except us. It's very interesting. It's funny, we call the leaders in our church, they're a leader. How do I know they're a leader? Because they're following me. No, actually, that's called a follower. They're not a leader unless somebody is following them. How can we help people become more reproductive? And one of the things that we're looking for and how we define a reproducing believer is that they share lessons that they've learned with individuals and with groups of people. They're just in the habit, wow, it was so neat, the Lord shared this with me or that with me. Hopefully that they're humble and it's not, oh, the Lord shared with me this and that. It's very effective to encourage people just to journal or keep track. Man, you should write that down. When God did something for them, they get in the habit of recording it. They're more likely to remember it, thereby they're more likely to share it. Having more meetings that are structured to allow for individual testimonies. That this becomes somewhat of a regular part of what we do. Hey, by the way, it's not as though in my church we're scoring 100% on all of these things. This is not a, how can I say, hopefully you'll come up with more ideas than you'll be able to do, which is a whole lot better than not coming up with any ideas about what to do. So don't get tormented by this. When I go down my list, and this was just stuff that I just wrote this down. And this will become more and more intuitive to you of going from one level all the way down to level 4 as you work through the process. And so I just can kind of crank this stuff out. I can crank out so many ideas that I will kill myself. So when I just looked at that one, I thought, well, we don't do that, but it's a good idea. And maybe we'll do it next time I come and visit you. I will have done it, and I will have had a corn dog, and life will be good. Okay, I really think that the key leaders in the church, that if they're modeling, this is a lesson that I learned, and they're now sharing it with somebody. So I will encourage my leaders, talk out of the torture of your own life. You remember what it was like to be back there. Share that kind of experience with them. More encouragement for people to tell others what they tell you, Pastor. Oh, don't they come up and say, oh, the Lord did this, and they're so excited because you're a spiritual leader and they want you to know that. And so what do you do with that? Thank you so much. I will almost always encourage, well, tell somebody, hey, could you write that in the bulletin for me? Of course, I have noticed a precipitous drop-off in the number of people sharing anything with me. But don't steal the testimonies, because most of the people in your congregation, they feel if they've shared it with you, that they've told all that they need to tell. Don't let them do that. That's my theory here.